Are you serious, guys? Are you serious? Welcome to the Coming Apocalypse. I'm Pastor Paul Begley, and we've got some unbelievable breaking news for you right now. But first, let me put a shout out, if I could, for www.pastorpaulgold.com. That's www.pastorpaulgold.com. You can call them on the phone at 877-646-5347. When's the last time you actually held your investment? I mean, not checking the app or watching some numbers move on the screen. I mean physically held in your hand. And that's what I love about gold. It's real, it's tangible, it's a biblical currency, and it can be yours. No passwords, no logins, no 6-digit codes being text to your phone for access. I mean, actually holding the investments in your hand. In a world that's getting more digital and more abstract, more complicated, and gold is very simple, and so is silver. That's why we're seeing a massive shift in precious metals. As everything moves to the cloud, people are starting to value what they actually can hold. And silver and gold in the last 12 months has gone up by over 30% and expected to climb higher again. It is a buyer's market right now. So you need to check things out. Go quickly. Become a real ownership is becoming very rare for anything. So why don't you check it out? Go to www.pastorpaulgold.com. That's www.pastorpaulgold.com, or call them on the phone at 877-646-5347. And you see this? This is 1/10 of an ounce gold coin. They will give you this 1/10 of an ounce of gold for free. That's $450 to $500 coin. They'll send it to you for free if you set up an account with Noble Gold, and you'll qualify, and you probably will. So find out how to do it. Go right now to www.pastorpaulgold.com. Yep. Wow, they are doing a great job over there at Noble Gold, and people are very happy. I mean, in the last 12 months, the folks who listened to what I had to say about that and went and did that, they're very, very happy. Yes, you can. We're still in the Passover season, yes, and people are still calling in their offerings. People are still going to our website at paulbegleyprophecy.com, and you can give your Passover offering today on this April 7th in the Passover season. 4 different ways to give. You can see the screen as the ticker goes by. Please make that happen, okay? Make sure you get your Passover offering in. All right, now let me just tell you, we got breaking news taking place around the world, different places. And we're certainly in a countdown to Armageddon. I hate the title, but the reality is that's what's happening. First, let's go to Turkey, because the Israeli consulate was attacked this morning in Istanbul, Turkey. One gunman has been killed, 2 others have been neutralized in an attack on the Israeli consulate in Istanbul, Turkey. The information we're getting right now on the ground is that 2 police officers also were injured. These were Turkish police officers, were injured during the shootout with these terrorists. One of the suspects has ties to an organization that exploits religion, or in other words, is a radical Islamist. According to the Turkey's Interior Minister, Mustafa Satifsi, and that's hard to say. An eyewitness also told the news media there in the Middle East that 3 people arrived in a car, and they tried to open fire on the consulate. They began shooting, and then security began to shoot back. At least 24 shots were heard in under a minute. The footage from the scene is being analyzed. Verified footage shows armed officers who appeared to be security forces for the Israeli consulate taking up defensive positions behind vehicles and on a nearby verge. If this was an attempted attack on the Israeli target, then it was a brazen one in broad daylight. Well, it obviously was an attack on the Israeli consulate there in Istanbul, Turkey, in broad daylight. I mean, these guys were just nuts. One man described bullets were hitting off the walls. He was a witness to the gunfire. Eyewitness tells Reuters news agency that he could hear sounds of gunfire loudly and then continued to hear the sounds. It lasted 15 to 20 minutes. The shootout did. Bullets hit the walls and everything. Then the police were going around inside. They were going up and down in the consulate. Now, there was 2 injured police officers receiving hospital treatment right now. The 2 police officers injured in the shooting are now being treated at the hospital, according to Turkish health ministers. And even CNN Turk has also published a photograph of one of the injured officers in a hospital bed. They're both expected to recover, with one injured, but neither one of these 2 that were shot have life-threatening injuries. Israel is ecstatically happy with the Turkish authorities. Israeli foreign minister has strongly condemned these terrorist attacks on the Israeli consulate there in Istanbul, Turkey. We appreciate the Turkish security forces, their swift action in stopping this attack, said the foreign minister of Israel. And he went on to say, Israeli missions around the world have been subjected to countless threats and terrorist attacks. We are very thankful to the Turkish authorities for stopping this attack on our consulate. And so this was some really good news that Turkey was able to step up and protect the Israeli consulate. I think that is very, very good news. That's for sure, okay? But we also have now information on the countdown, the deadline, if you will, that President Trump has now drew the line in the sand that 8 o'clock tonight is the deadline. I mean, this could become Armageddon, if you will, not the real biblical Armageddon in the Bible, but certainly an Armageddon moment for the nation of Iran. President Donald Trump sharply today, about an hour ago, ramped up his threats against the Iranians, warning that a whole civilization will die tonight. Are you serious? Are you serious? But what he's saying is that the Iranian way of living could end tonight. Not that everybody would be killed in Iran, but the ability for a civilization to thrive could be completely cut off tonight unless the country's leadership strikes a deal that would involve reopening the Straits of Hormuz. The threat came after U.S. forces overnight struck military targets on Karg Island, Iran's main oil export terminal. They did not hit the oil industry there. They did not hit the oil refineries. They hit more of the military installations that are on Karg Island. A whole civilization will die tonight, President Trump said, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. Trump wrote this morning on his Truth Social network. Guys, this is the most dangerous statement I've ever heard any president of any nation ever make, that a whole civilization will die tonight and never be brought back again. We're talking about the Persian Empire here. Are you serious? Well, however, now that we have complete and total regime change, we're different, we're smarter, and less radicalized minds have prevailed, maybe something revolutionary, wonderful could happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long, complex history of the world. Trump has brought this situation, folks, this whole Iranian mentality, this radical Islamic jihadi ideology, which not only created the Iranian regime of terror and murder and destruction and anguish and hanging people every day from cranes and destruction in the middle of the street, and executing thousands. We now know that they executed 45,000 of the protesters. They're still hanging 18 and 19-year-old children. They're murdering, they're raping. You have to understand what we're dealing with here. But not only is this regime for 47 years oppressed with and enforced a radicalized Sharia law ideology upon its people, but they used all the money they could get their hands on, all the oil money they could get their hands on, all the money that Obama sent them, all the money that Biden released to them. They've used every nickel they could get their hands on to build weapons of mass destruction, not just only working on nuclear weapons, but biological weapons also. And they funded the Houthi rebels in Yemen, supporting them and sending them arms. They completely stockpiled Hezbollah in Lebanon, and they completely stockpiled Hamas in Gaza. And they've even distributed weapons to radical groups in Iraq and in Syria that would be a part of a jihadi attack on Israel. So you have to understand what we are dealing with. Now, President Trump has went after Hezbollah and has crippled them with their pagers and their cell phones. And as we speak, Israel is in southern Lebanon with ground troops on the ground, and they are also bombing military installations in Lebanon as we speak to suppress the Hezbollah regime. At the same time, the United States has already bombed significant military installations in Yemen, as we know, a couple months ago, but of course, and has set them back some. We also know that Israel completely demolished Hamas and the Gaza Strip to eliminate not only Hamas's abilities, but radical jihads of it's called the Islamic Jihad terrorist group. So we know that happened. But now the showdown is Iran. And even though the United States has blown up the Iranian Navy and the Iranian Air Force and their submarines and has done significant damage to their military installations throughout the country, I'm sorry. I know the president says that Iran's military has been decimated, but I'm here to tell you, they still got a lot of weapons. They still got people in different positions. They're still firing rockets into Israel. They're still getting missiles through. They fired on 11 different nations surrounding them. And they still got weapons of mass destruction, including biological chemical weapons. So Trump has brought this to a head. He's saying that the Persian Empire, or the radical regime of Persia, this principality that Daniel talked about in the 8th chapter of Daniel, the 10th chapter of Daniel, that a vision that he saw of a cataclysmic situation of biblical proportion, and how he prayed for 21 days, and how he sat in that portal of to receive divine revelation from angels, sharing with him the future of the end days. And I read it to you yesterday. It's found in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verses 34 through 39, that there would be an Armageddon moment. Not the Armageddon of the end of days in the book of Revelation, but an Armageddon moment for the nation of Iran, for Elam in the Bible, or Persia, that area. And tonight could be Armageddon. Now, we're praying it won't be. I plan on going live tonight at approximately 8 p.m. Eastern, which is when the deadline ends. I'm going to bring on a guest, looks like Agent X, I haven't got that 100% confirmed, but I am hunting him down right now. And I may bring on another guest as well, so we'll let you know. Just don't miss the broadcast. It will be at 8 p.m. Eastern, a special live broadcast with guests to discuss the Armageddon countdown. And I hope that we can go on the air and say, we got good news. A deal has been struck. An arrangement is being established. This is not going to happen. That's what I'm hoping. I can come on the air and live and make that announcement. But it's very possible that at 8 p.m. Eastern until midnight tonight, Trump may decide to blow up every bridge and every power substation and every power plant and anything and everything has to do with their infrastructure and blow it all away. And it would send the Iranian people back into the Stone Age, and it would be devastating. Now, there are reports, Heidi, we got reports from some of our insiders that they're going to put children around the power plants. And they're going to standing all around, and inside even the power plants. They may do the same thing with the oil refineries. They may do the same thing with the bridges. We're getting reports that they'll put children up on the bridges, just standing up on top of the bridges. This is to try to deter the Americans and the Israelis from attacking these institutions. This is a showdown that of biblical proportion. But let me just tell you something. I remember when John Hagee wrote a book, and I believe it was around 2004. I'm not positive. It might have been even sooner than that. It might have been in the late 90s. But I read the book. It was called Countdown to Armageddon. And it was about Iran and how Iran, that there was a moment coming when the world would witness the Iranian Armageddon. And it's been about 20 some years since he wrote that book. And that moment may be tonight. Also, Agent X has written a couple very powerful books recently. One's called Deceived by Machine. The other one's called The Genesis Mission. It has a lot to do with how the AI technology will be implemented not only in our surveillance society, but in the military apparatuses as well. We're already seeing that, but it's going to go way beyond it. But deception against, just the fact that I'm live right now and I'm explaining these things. There are AI podcasts that are being developed, fake people with fake news and fake theories interwoven with some truth to try to deceive the masses on what is going on. It's a good thing that I'm not an AI, and it's a good thing I've been out here for 16 years, and you guys have seen me and heard me, and are you serious? You know my voice. You know who I am. Could an AI imitate me and make another one? Yes, it could. But I think that we know that if we study the Bible and study what's been going on, which we have done, we can show you every time we're in a situation where it literally is confirmed by the Bible. And I think we're at that moment tonight. Meanwhile, I want to say my daddy turned 90 years old today. I want to thank everybody for your prayers. I want to thank everybody for praying for my mom and dad. I'm here in Indiana. I'm getting ready to go right now back to the nursing home. He is, I was spending a lot of time with him yesterday.
You do have a confirmation.
I have a confirmation, Agent X. All right, Agent X will be with us tonight at approximately 8 p.m. Eastern and to talk about Countdown to Armageddon. But my daddy's getting very weak. He told me every day now he kept counting down the days that he would turn to 90. He told me, Paul, if I can just live 4 more days, I can see 90. Yesterday, he told me I got 1 more day. If I can make it 1 more day. But he's not talking much, and he's not making, he's confused, and he's not eating hardly anything. So, yeah, he's in the bed. He's sleeping most of the time. And my mom also is very distraught. Her Parkinson's disease has progressed. She's confused. She's upset. So this is a very difficult time for us. So have your patience with me as I'm trying to keep informing you guys with what's going on in the world and prophecy. At the same time, spending time with my mom and dad and so I'm going to get a song.
Saturday was silent, and surely it was through. Since when has impossible ever stopped you? Friday's disappointment is Sunday's empty tomb. Since when has impossible ever stopped you? This is the sound of our dry bones rattling. This is the praise make a dead man walk again. Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. This is the sound of dry bones rattling. Pentecostal fire, stirring something new. You're not gonna run out of miracles anytime soon. Your resurrection power, it runs in my veins too. I believe there's another miracle here in this room. This
house of Israel, prophesy and say to them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up from your graves and bring you into the land of Israel. Then you shall know that I am the Lord, and I will put my spirit in you, and I will place you in your own land, and you shall live. I will place you in your own land. You shall live, 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 live.
It's one of our number one most listened to songs on Spotify is Rattle. I want to put a shout out for Nick's mom. Nick's mom, Jacqueline. She lives in Brazil, Indiana, and she might be my biggest fan out there. That's what her son says. She's a great lady. She loves the Lord. She watches every video I do. That's Jacqueline, right, Heidi? And she's Nick's mom, and she lives in Brazil, Indiana. Okay, so Jacqueline, I'm put a shout out to you. God bless you. Love you. Thank you so much for being a follower and supporter of Paul Begley Prophecy Ministries. Amen. So tonight we will be live at 8 p.m. Eastern, approximately 8 p.m. Eastern, on the Armageddon countdown. We pray to God that this don't happen. I just don't want it. Nobody on the earth wants this to happen. The president is just trying to bring it to a head. But I'm not going to debate his strategy. What I want to do is look at prophecy. Is this prophesied to happen? This moment? Could this be fulfillment of Jeremiah chapter 49, verses 34 through 39? That is a question. Now, it's also the Euphrates River, and you got to look at that, because the Bible talks about these four fallen angels coming out of the Euphrates River in the last days also. And in Jeremiah, that prophecy I just told you says it will happen in the latter days. And then you have to think about Apollyon coming out of the bottomless pit. And that's why I wrote my book, Revelation 9:11, and how he comes out and releases these four fallen angels in the river Euphrates. Are we witnessing a combination of all of these prophecies? And then you can't stop with that. Jesus just simply saying there'll be wars and rumors of wars in Matthew 24. Certainly, we're living in that era. And then you could throw in all the rest of the things that are going on, and it would start to come to your realization that time is coming to an end. Now, it doesn't mean it's tomorrow, don't mean it's tonight, but it certainly means that we're living in the end times, we're living in the last days, we're in the season that the Bible talks about. Now, my prayer is that this doesn't happen, but I'm just telling you what the prophecies say. And this could be the fulfillment of what the Bible says will happen in the end times. We'll be watching, we'll be praying, and we'll be live at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. My guest will be Agent X, who is a 32-year retired intelligence officer from the military and the NSA. I'm sure we're going to get some information that's going to be very pertinent for tonight. We may even bring on another guest. You never know who it could be. So be ready tonight. God bless all of you. Pray one for another. Pray for Iran, the people there. Pray for our president. Pray for our military. Pray that peace of Jerusalem can come.